Hey guys, did you see the market fall out of the sky today? I hope you had your stops in place and were protected, but a big signal flashed in the market that says there's more downside coming. If you want to know what that signal was and where we're expecting this market to go, watch this video to the end. But first, hey, up in that corner, I'm going to show you a drop down of how to find out about our ultimate AutoPilot trading service. It'll help you be prepared to trade, take advantage of both the ups and the downs in this market. So check it out if you will. And now it's ready to get down to business. So let's get ready to go. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilburn, the Active Trend Trader. I want to welcome you to today's session of Trade Your Way to Wealth and Financial Freedom. We're going to be showing you some stock picks. And we may, between the three of us, we may actually modify whatever our stock pick was that we do earlier, because we do those. Anil shoots them to, and Steve and Anil shoot their stock picks to me real early on Friday morning. A lot of times, by the time it comes around to time to go live, the market has changed a little bit. We'll see if that is the case today. But let's go ahead and jump into today's session. I want to remind you that all the materials we do present are for training purposes. Traders should always favor trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. And as we like to do is basically start your week off with, trade your way to wealth and financial freedom. That's where I'm focusing on, folks, is just, I want to give people the tools to incorporate wealth building and a tool for financial freedom into your trading plan. I was reading a quote the other day, and I don't know have it up on this session, but it basically said that old keys don't work on new doors. And so, what does that mean? We need to start continuing to sharpen our saws so that we can basically be trading well. I put a little QR code right here in the corner here. If that will take you to I think that takes you over to the Market Tech Talk YouTube channel, where you can basically register there. All the things I do over there on YouTube are free. We're going to do a market index review, stock picks for the week, and then trade tips. I'm going to be talking about one of the things that while we jumped into this market, there may have been a reason to be not concerned, but cautious getting into the market. So as Peter Brandt likes to say, if you don't know precisely what signal is yours and how, and you will size and manage your position, don't trade. Cannot overemphasize that. Here's where we're sitting at the end of the month of January. We're up slightly for the month. Now, 2 weeks into February, I am very pleased on how things have taken off. And anytime I am beating the S&P by double digits, I'm exceptionally pleased. With that, then we want to basically just jump in and take a look at some indexes. But before we do, I'm going to I'll ask Steve to go first. Which one of your stocks we're going to cover one of the stocks right now, and then I'll do the market review.
I'm looking at Sky, SKY. It's a high end. It's up high on the IBD 50 list this week. I like the chart. It was holding up well, but I don't like the market and how it's turned in the last half hour, 45 minutes.
Right.
If Friday's low was going to hold today, I would look to be entering into Sky.
Okay.
But it is not doing that, so I'm going to defer that decision to Monday sometime or next week.
Okay.
Depending on what further happens with the market.
Okay. So the Sky, folks, if in case you weren't, it does have. Let me give you a name on this. It is.
It was looking a lot better earlier this morning. It was holding yesterday's low, but then it's come apart. Yeah.
Okay, and I've got to get it hold on just a second. Let me flip back over to here. Sorry about that. I had to change charts, but it's the same chart. So yeah, I like it too, Steve. It's past earnings, but it's melting with the market, and we have had a strong reversal signal yesterday, followed by a follow through on that today.
Sure.
Where do you like it?
Earlier today, it was holding above yesterday's hold.
Okay.
So I thought it would be likely a good entry if the market stayed firm. But now I like it somewhere between the 8 and the 20.
Okay.
Wherever it starts to make a reversal bar of some sort.
Yeah, you've got a really nice cluster right there.
Yeah, I think I hope right in that range.
Okay.
Likely that entry.
And look at over on the weekly chart is also looking, weekly chart, you actually had the momentum shift back up over the last 3 weeks, but now we're getting kind of a shooting star. Yeah. It got right up into past resistance and said, hey, I'm not going any further. And I think it's a reflection of the market, market weakness.
I think so too.
Excellent.
So I think it's a trade to take, but deferred for a few days at least.
Okay, excellent. It's got some good support there, somewhere between, I'd say, 70 and 71.
Yeah, I think so.
And this does not have weekly options. It does, and I don't know what the options specifically on this are. So let's go ahead and jump over and let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on with the indexes. Here is one of the indexes. This is the S&P. If you recall, the follow-through day, IBD follow-through day was that day right there. That is the 31st. If within, and here's the rule of thumb that you want to remember, if within 10 days following the follow-through day, the low of the follow-through day is violated, that means that the market has a high probability of going into a more severe correction. So as you can see on the S&P, it is really close to violating that number. Has one more trading day, Monday. However, let's take a look at the actual S&P, SPX. And what does that tell us? As you can see, same thing there is that we are close to it, but not below it yet. However, momentum has shifted to the downside on the daily, breaking back down below the zero line on the spiders and the S&P both. And look what we have going on over here on the weekly. On the weekly, as you can see, and this is kind of my tech tip for today, is, and I've learned this in working with Floyd a little bit, is that if your longer term momentum lines have not shifted to the upside, now they don't have to cross, but you get a shift, then be cautious with your trades. And you can see here, market forecast, the longer term green line is still pointing down. Now that, you can take that, draw a straight line down from that, and that shows that we may, if this does in fact go into a reversal, a downside slide, could get the indicator bottoming around 3.7. So that's about 3 weeks from now. We shall see. March timeframe can be a little bit wonky and weak in the market. So we'll see what transpires from there. And so, if you guys do have any questions, please just pop them into the chat box. I do not pay attention to Q&A simply because I only have 2 eyes. So again, pushing down out of there. NASDAQ though, the Qs. Let's do the NASDAQ first. As you can see, NASDAQ ripped through. There's the 31st. It appears as if it may close below the follow-through day. If so, that could mean that the NASDAQ is basically going to go into a deeper correction. And so we want to be very cautious with how we want to trade this. what is the indication of this particular chart? One, we made a lower high. Now we're cutting out the last swing low. So it appears as if we are trending back down to the downside. You can do a similar type projection here. As you can see, on the weekly charts, nothing really reversed up to the upside, even though we had the follow-through day on the 31st. Another thing, if you utilize TSI or an oscillator like this, draw a trend line across those peaks and just leave that in place. And when the price action or the momentum shifts back up and breaks back through that, that gives you a good indication that I've had a significant shift in momentum. Now it's time to jump on board. Now, can you still trade it to downside? Sure. The other thing on the cues that I find very interesting, what happened? We pushed up on Wednesday, hit the 200-day moving average, stalled big time. Yesterday, big sell-off, and that looks like a shooting star. It is not. It basically, because it's not at the total end of an uptrend, but we're dropping back down here and continue to sell off. We may, in fact, project out. I would project out that somewhere around 218, 219, maybe when we get another bottoming opportunity. I'm looking for this to push all the way back down to somewhere at 340. I would say, here's my target. So the downside, 343, 340, or even down to this past low here of 334. So now, Anil.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to save the Russell for the end, but MU.
MU came out the strongest on my system.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. I'll probably buy it around 3 o'clock.
About 3 o'clock. Okay.
I want to see what it does, but it's very strong short term as well as long term on my system.
Okay. What would be your one? What would keep you from buying?
On the daily, if it even goes below yesterday, I'll probably won't buy. If it stays roughly where it is, or even goes a little bit low, I'll go ahead and buy it.
Okay, so as long as yesterday's low stays intact, you'll be looking at.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. And so, yeah, this is, it looks like it wants to do.
I'm sorry, where would the stop be, Anil?
Yeah, after I buy it, my stop usually is 4 to 5%.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent. And so, so you've got your trigger. Now we're kind of moving up. Yeah, I mean, I like it where it's at more than I like it up here at this, because it's got a lot of supply up here where the sellers came in and pushed it back down. And so, yeah, if it did a pullback, and came into like the moving averages, I would be really looking at that. It does have weekly options. So that looks pretty good. And again, let's just see what the market does for you, or see what it provides you with. And a 5% stop loss, let's say if we get in, let's say it closes at yesterday's open, a 5% stop loss is actually down slightly below the moving averages. So I think that's a pretty good area, because the moving averages should catch it. So you've got a level of support there. And so, hey, aloha, buddy. Hey, Mohammed. Let's see, Mark, how you doing? Just checking out who's here today. And so, okay. Now let's run back over and do IWM. I always put that in incorrectly. So what's going on with IWM? IWM is actually holding up pretty well, guys. and ladies and gentlemen. And here was the 31st. That was the follow-through day, and it's a long way away from that. Kind of interesting. Now we are, it did come up to the lower edges of this zone it was trading in last year, most of last year, and reversed down off of that. It looks like on the momentum shift on the daily chart that it maybe wanted to turn over, but it hasn't done it yet. So we're still kind of like in a green light on IWM as price actions, as the market forecast daily has broken up. That's the green line I'm primarily looking at there. And on the weekly, the market forecast has also turned up, and the TSI is always also turning up right about the negative 42 line. I would look at any kind of a repeat back down into the middle of this gray box here where past support was. I put an alert in here about 195. If I get down to 195, the top of the box, which is 197.60, down to about 195. If I do get down into those areas, I would want to be, paying attention for a reversal signal there. So that's what I've got going there. So now my choice, I'm stuck. I like two of them, and I'm going to give them to you really quick. I like VRTX. I like VRTX almost where it's at right now. The momentum has shifted to the downside, so I'd like to see some kind of a little bit of reversal. I looking at this is a very significant bearish reversal signal, shooting star followed by a long red candle for the week. That is a what's called an evening star formation. So it may trickle on back down to about 120. So somewhere, correction, 220. So somewhere I know I have demand down here at 220-ish. There is also some demand about 220. So I'm not buying right where I'm at, but I like it at either the 34-day moving average, that's 230, or I like it at the 50-day moving average at 220, about 225. I'll just hang loose on that because it is, in fact, continuing to go down. The pullback gets under, look at very low volume, very low volume. So that's one. The other one, if you are a little bit less risk adverse, check out Coin. Coin has earnings coming up here. It did make its initial turn to the upside. And one of the things on Coin that you can do, and I'll just throw this on here really quick, is look at where is it likely to pull back. There's a couple of different triggers on that. One is it pulled back from, if it does a symmetric pullback from there to there, it is at that symmetric pullback right now. However, I am not buying this because I don't have a reversal signal and I've got the momentum shifting to the downside. I like it better probably about the 187 level. The other thing I can do is, let me get rid of that. Go over back to fibs, and let's do a Fibonacci from this high to that low. And as you can see, it's also got down to, on this little short move here, it has gotten down to the 38% retracement. And if it does, in fact, bottom somewhere around there, and it is coming back to kiss the downtrend line goodbye, and we get a reversal, my upside target is 217. My second upside target is 228. So there's my picks, guys. What do you think?
I like them. Very good technical levels, good stocks. The only issue is what will the market do?
That's right. What will the market do? So, okay, folks, if you have any stocks you want us to take a look at or any questions, you can throw those in right now.
If you go back on Vertex?
Say again?
Can you go back on Vertex?
I can.
Yeah, I have a sad story to tell on Vertex because my system gave a signal at around 202 and I did not buy it.
Oh, so
Shame on you, Anil.
now the reason. So the reason why is, and the reason why you didn't buy it is what?
No, it just somehow got through me looking at, I guess life happens.
Yeah.
Life happens.
Welcome to trading.
Yeah.
Many signals not seen in
Right.
a family way.
Yeah. And again, like I really like
Vortex.
Vortex, yeah, VRTX, simply because it spent almost a year and a half going down.
Right.
Then we break back up, and it's got its groove back on here, and it's heading higher. Now, it wouldn't surprise me. Look, I mean, the market forecast and the TSI on the weekly chart looks like they want to do some kind of a pullback, and that's okay. I'm not buying it here. I realize it's got to be at a stronger level of support, which may be, like I said, the 34 or the 50-day moving average.
And for me, I need to see some sign of a reversal, some reversal action,
yes.
Price action. Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly. So, okay, my friends. Let's see. Mark wants to take a look at SQQQ.
SQs. Okay.
So, yeah, Mark, I like SQQ. It's getting a nice reversal up. TSI is starting to turn up on the daily chart. Am I going to buy it right where it's at right now? I myself probably wouldn't. I want to probably trade it off of the 8-day moving average, which is down at about at about that high, or halfway down today's candlestick, probably somewhere between 39 and 38.50-ish. And then with a stop loss just immediately below today's, on these leverage ETFs, you got to keep your stops tight. And so just immediately below 10, 15 cents below the low here. Because if you did jump in midway on this candlestick, which is about there, and it dropped, below the low of today, it would be about a 4.5 to 5% loss. So, but yeah, this is looking pretty good to the like a potential move back up to past highs. And if it did get up there, what is that? That's about a 17 to 20% gain. So I'll be looking at that for the AutoPilot traders. I'll be looking at that for this weekend. Excellent. Okay, folks, we are basically at the end of our time today. Steve and Neil, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
And so we already did the disclaimer. And then, hey, do you struggle with this uncertainty about stock or, what stock or ETF to trade? Well, if you are, you're not alone, but AutoPilot Trading can help you. I give you 5 top stocks every week, plus 2 leverage ETFs. And we show all of that stuff in a trading routine with targeted consistency and index beating return opportunity. We beat in the S&P for the last 10 years and continue to do so. So there is AutoPilot Trading. And if you would like to get on board, you can basically go to that link on the website, or quick, get your mobile phone, take a snapshot of that QR code, and take a test flight. We now have an offer where you can go for 3 months and just take a test flight, see how well it works for you. And so with that, I'll basically say aloha, God bless everybody. We are continuing to, I'm really pleased with how the system has moved us in and out of the market to avoid the big, huge, downdraft, and then actually got us back into the market where we could, take on some good profits. And so while the market is down, significantly, we're beating the market by over 12% right now, and I'm pleased with that. And that's usual. So again, Steve and Anil, thank you, my friends.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend. And remember, guys, Monday is what day?
President's Day.
The 14th of
Oh,
the 14th of
President's
February.
Day. President's Day.
It's not President's Day, Steve. What day is it, guys? It's Valentine's Day.
Too
So
late to buy Hershey, though.
anyway, yeah. Anyway, C's better. C's candy is better. So aloha. God bless everybody. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.